It's time now for our political roundtable this morning, and joining us are Republican analyst Amy Carnevale and Democratic analyst Mary Anne Marsh. Great to see you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, last week, Governor Mary Healey demanded every household in the state receive $1,700 because of tariffs. Here's her rationale.
It's not extra, it's not a bonus, it's what you were actually owed. Donald Trump took it from you when you paid more for food, car parts, energy, you name it.
Okay, Governor Healey later said she doesn't actually expect the state to get paid $5 billion in tariff refunds. She says she was just trying to make a point. So this was a political ploy. Amy, do you think it worked?
So this is more political posturing by Governor Healey in an attempt to distract the public from her own mismanagement and overspending. She is trying to blame Donald Trump for her woes here in Massachusetts. We've seen it before and we'll see it again.
What do you think, Mary Anne?
Well, she's not the first governor to do it. She won't be the last governor to do it, but she should expect to get that money back. The Supreme Court told Donald Trump he has to refund it. So it's the best way to show people that they lost money in their pocket versus all the money Donald Trump's taking from Massachusetts in education, healthcare, go down the list, every program. That's a little more distant, but everybody went out and bought stuff that the tariffs were subjected to, and it came out of their pocket. So it's a great way to show what he's done to people.
Next item, the World Cup. It is a go in Foxborough, the town, craft sports and entertainment. Boston Soccer 2026 announcing that they had reached a deal. Foxborough will not take on any costs associated with the event, including the hefty security tab, which floated toward $8 million. Mary Anne, do you think everyone is friends now? Or
I wouldn't say
kumbaya
friends.
moment. Was that what it was?
I wouldn't say friends, but
Right.
Foxborough, good for them. They were willing to stand up to everybody and all the pressure for the last 14 months. They've been at each other's throats, but Foxborough has said consistently what they needed and when they needed it by. And ultimately, this past week, they got exactly what they've been asking for 14 months. And that's the least we should expect. Now, yes, everybody needs to come together because there are only 87 days until the first match is played.
Right.
And so everyone has to remember that. And last but not least, I don't understand the strategy behind all of this and the antagonistic relationships and the press and putting that release out saying we have a deal with ourselves, but not with you and all that. But one thing Bob Kraft does have is a friendship with Donald Trump. And he needs to go to Trump and say, time to release all the money, not just to Boston, but to everyone in the country because nobody's gotten any of that funding yet.
Amy, do you see any other bumps in the road?
Yeah, so I say great for Foxborough for getting this deal done. It's a win-win, not only for Foxborough, but for Massachusetts and the World Cup. But I do worry, given the strained relationship, about the future relationship with the World Cup in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is reportedly behind many of the other major cities in preparing for World Cup events. So if Massachusetts is going to compete for these major events in the future, we need to get our act together and be better prepared
The fact
to
that
host
this was
these
so public.
Yeah.
You know, that's, I think, what was surprising to a lot of people.
And ultimately, we will all be judged by how those matches go and all that. And the better they go, then you get to move up and get better matches and more money. So 87 days, everybody's got to get it together here, but oh my God.
Remember, the town of Foxborough took on the NFL and wouldn't allow Monday Night Football for almost 2 full decades. So it's the little giant that can.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
have
That's
the power.
right.
I didn't mean to jump in on you there, but you said they need to get it together.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. The Massachusetts Senate is seeking a high court advisory opinion on whether 2 proposed ballot initiatives violate the state constitution. One would expand access to public records in the legislature and governor's office. The other would regulate legislative stipends. What have lawmakers learned, if anything, from the public opinion battle over the audit? Let's start with you, Mary Anne.
So great question.
Excuse me, Amy, you're smiling right now.
Yes, so this is a great question. So clearly lawmakers have seen that they're on the opposite end of the public on the legislative audit. 72% of voters voted for the audit. Lawmakers, along with the Attorney General and the governor, have been stonewalling that audit. And so now this is an attempt by legislators to go to the Supreme Judicial Court to try to avoid a question altogether that they think the public may support and pass in large margin. And again, the legislature doesn't want to comply with. So Massachusetts continues in the Beacon Hill kind of bigwigs continue to be stalling the public and continuing to be the least transparent, least accountable legislature in the nation.
Do you think they've learned anything, Mary Anne?
I think they've learned that you can have the best best idea in the world, and 72% of the people vote for it. But if it's not legal, you can't do it. And that's what the separation of powers is for. So I think they're doing what should have been done with the last couple of ballot questions to say, does this meet the legal requirement? Like, separation of powers is not nothing. It's the Constitution. So does this question, these two questions coming up, do they pass that mustard? And we'll see that. And I think it's a smart thing to do.
Next item, Mayor Michelle Wu has announced millions of dollars in funding to go toward immigrants. It would be used for everything from legal help to buying groceries. Last month, the mayor signed an executive order banning federal agents from using city property for immigration enforcement. She keeps finding ways to fight the Trump administration's mass deportation agenda. Should she, Mary Anne, continue focusing on that, and how effective is it?
Ask Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, she has fought him every step of the way for the past year, going back to her testimony last March before Congress. What she's doing is really trying to keep people in place and communities safe. And that's what this is about. There are thousands of people in Massachusetts who are afraid to leave their home, afraid to go to work, afraid to go to school, afraid to go to the grocery store, go to church, go to any of those things. And a lot of them, because you get randomly picked up, because if I pick you up and take you, whether it's legal or not, I'm going to get $300 and put a bounty on your head. You need lawyers. And who can afford lawyers? So she's putting all the pieces together to try to keep everyone together and safe until we get through this.
Amy?
So I'd just say the mayor and the governor would be better off working with the Trump administration and working with federal agencies to focus on what we've heard ICE really wants to focus on, and that's the criminal illegal migrants who are in the state.
Why haven't they done that?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, we've seen in other states they have. In the state of Maine, we saw Maine cooperate, and other states are cooperating with the federal government to focus on those criminal illegal migrants. But when you restrict areas, important areas like courthouses, that forces ICE onto the streets in more dangerous situations in which other immigrants who may or may not be here illegally get swept up in these.
Well, look, with all due respect, the people in the courthouses
seizures
are going to the courthouses because they got a notice saying, please appear for your residency, appear for the, all
Your
the legal
XYZ,
requirements.
right.
Yeah, the requirements
But
that
again,
they've been
that's
going
a safer
through.
place that they can be apprehended as opposed to the streets and communities
There's no
in the
place safe
neighborhoods.
anymore. No place.
I'm enjoying this. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.